How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be taking a look at Harrow County Volume 1, Countless Haints. This is by Cullen Bunn and Tyler Crook and put out by Dark Horse Comics. And overall, I'm really excited to be talking about this. This is a pretty classic horror comic, and I definitely would recommend it to anyone that likes horror comics at all. A really cool story. In this one, we get to meet our main character, Emmy, and Emmy appears to be a normal girl, a farmer's daughter. However, on the night of her 18th birthday, she's chased out of her house by a mysterious group of people that know she has a secret connection to Harrow County's past. She gets chased into the woods, which is actually a big problem because Harrow County is very haunted and the woods are full of spirits. Not just spirits of dead people, but also spirits, things that have never really been alive, or at least not how human beings know the difference between life and death. So yeah, full of spirits, which the locals call Haints. And she goes in there. She's going to have to be avoiding the group of people that want her dead and dealing with all these spirits that she finds in the woods and figuring out what they want. In her party, she has Bernice, her best friend, who is going to do her best to help her out. But also, she has a spirit of her own. Right before she goes on this adventure, she just happens to catch this spirit of a young boy, and he's going to have some interesting abilities and insight that's going to help her out along the way. And overall, this is a really great classic horror book. It's got some really cool, gruesome moments with how some of the ghosts are depicted, and particularly the spirit of that young boy. We'll get into that in a minute, but a pretty gruesome design. And even though it's gruesome, it doesn't lose this sense of almost like fairy tale wonder, you know? So you go in there, the exploration, the insane new world. I really do love this world and all the different ghosts that they designed to inhabit it. Harrow County is a really interesting place and at a really interesting time. It's in the South, and it's still old-timey enough to feel very much like a cowboy city, but we are in the future enough where this is the point where some people have cars and stuff, so it's not that far in the past, but really has this good old-timey feel with some narration over it, and you really just get in this gothic mood when you read it, and you see all the cool monsters, all the cool designs, and the really excellent watercolor work. It's really fun. And then also following Emmy as she learns about her past, she learns about this dark connection she has to the town, and she's a good young girl that just wants to live a normal life, but finding out these dark connections and sort of getting tempted by the dark side every now and then. She's a really fun character to follow, and overall, this is a book that just does a really good job of sucking you in to this really amazing gothic, ghost-filled world that they've built, and this is really fun. I had read a lot of Cullen Bunn's stuff. Recently on this channel, I talked about Parasomnia, which is his new one he did for Dark Horse. And I also read The Unsound, which he did for Boom, which was a really good story as well. And I liked what he did, and everyone said, if you like Cullen Bunn, you have to check out Harrow County. It's his biggest, it's his best, it's its most famous work. And yeah, I definitely see why. After reading this first volume, and I actually did read it twice, I really want to just dig through the rest of this comic, so I'm definitely going to be hunting down the other volumes and be getting to the rest of this soon. But yeah, Harrow County Volume 1. Great character, great atmosphere, great spirits, and it really just pulls you in and you read through this really fast. Definitely recommend it for anyone that likes horror comics. Without further ado, I'm going to switch to the close-up camera we're going to take a closer look at the story and the arc. I won't do any major spoilers, but I'll show you guys a little bit of the plot. So let's go ahead and jump to the close-up camera. Alright, here we are inside the castle, and we're going to be taking a look at this volume a little more up close. Obviously, first off, we have the title with the volume title in the center there. And here we have this really nice, haunting cover image. The bottom drawer of Emmy's dresser with the arm coming out, the skin. Very creepy the way it's just crawling out of there. And there is the creepy face with the glowing eyes inside the drawer there. Really, really nice, creepy, iconic cover. And a quote from Mike Mignola there, who did Hellboy. And on the back there are a few other quotes. We get Jeff Lemire, Stephen Niles, and even a quote from Joe R. Lansdale. So lots of people have lots of good things to say about it. And then this nice little image of at the top of Emmy and Bernice. And if we look above the Dark Horse Comics logo, we see the MSRP of $14.99. And this will include the first 4 issues of Harrow County. So, yeah, a fair price for 4 issues. And really, this is a very good volume. Definitely worth every penny. But if we open it up, we see the credits. Script by Cullen Bunn, art and lettering by Tyler Crook, and this really creepy picture of the witch, who will be an important character in this story, but also hand-painted watercolors. Really looks nice. Really well done here. But anyway, after that we get the story. And with the story, I'm not going to be doing any major spoilers, so I'll be avoiding the end. I want to show you guys a little bit about what the story is about. I want to show you guys a little bit of the artwork, and I want to say my piece on a few plot points. So I think what I'll do is I won't go past issue 2, and I'll, of course, paraphrase over the stuff I do show you, so I'm not just showing you everything. But I gotta show you this cool introduction, so let's go ahead and dive right in. We open up with the town of Harrow County, and they're hanging Hester Beck as a witch. And they say that she was a member of their community, so they tried to give her last rites, but the rain washes the letters off the Bible. Really creepy opening. And then we do find out why. They say, oh, she was a healer, and people liked her. Then cattle started to die, and they say, oh, well, that's just the price, I guess. And then you see some kids doing strange rituals with her in the woods, and then there's rumors that she's talking to strange beasts in the woods, so the town is a little worried about it. But then they find that she's trying to steal this baby, and well, that's going to be the last straw there. However, she's not really dying from hanging, so they have to light her on fire, and you get this really gruesome shot of her burning, saying that it's not the end and she'll come back. So that's going to be the setup here. And then we jump to modern day. Here's nighttime at this ranch house, and look, the title is written kind of secretly in the clouds there. Harrow County, every issue will do the title hidden somewhere. Sometimes it's more obvious than others, but I really do like that motif. But yeah, there's the tree where it happened, and there's this this farm where Emmy lives. And she's going to be your main character. She sleeps in a bedroom overlooking that old tree, and she has nightmares about the tree where the hollow has teeth on it, and it's saying strange and mysterious things like, lies, lies. And of course, she doesn't like that old tree. Well, it turns out there's some sort of blight on the farm, and animals are dying. The cow had 2 calves, one of them's dead, and the other one's on its way. So Pa's gonna go get the gun. He's a single father, so it's just the 2 of them all alone. He's going to put the other cow out of its misery, but Emmy walks out, and the cow is just fine, and she's like, let's name him Shaky. So what happened in there? Why is the cow just okay now? And yeah, they've buried a lot of stuff on their land. It's kind of some bad stuff happening. Well, they get visited by these two traders, Ray and his granddaughter, Bernice. And Bernice is like Emmy's only friend, and they start to talk about, you're 18, are you gonna go meet a boy and move away? And she's like, no, Pa needs me. And Ray is talking about the dead bodies, and he's like, you think it's a sign? And then he gives this mysterious thing, you know, she's almost of age, like something is going to happen when Emmy turns 18. Well, on the day of her actual birthday, Emmy's exploring the woods here, and she goes across this bridge deeper into the woods, and looking into the river, she sees this boy, and bear in mind, strangers are really rare, and when he runs away, because Emmy tried to talk to her, Emmy will follow him, and he'll go into this mysterious thorn patch, and she follows, and we see that the little toy rabbit he was carrying, and she gets all cut up by the thorns, but, you know, she pursues him because it's a little boy lost in the thorns, and then we get a very gruesome and striking image. You see, the boy, as she knew him, was never alive. It was just a ghost, and now all that's left of the ghost is this skin, which is such a gruesome concept, and it tries to talk to her, but it's really all muffled because it's skin and stuff. But then she realizes, oh man, I was chasing a ghost. But then we get something that is really interesting, is she keeps it. Which is the first time I was reading this book, I was like, oh man, she's keeping the skin. But it's like she has something of her own now. She's caught her own ghost. And she sneaks it into the farm and folds it up and puts it in the bottom drawer of her dresser and hides it from Pa. And later on she has a conversation with Pa. But something is lured to her taking the skin, and there's this bloody handprint outside of her window. But anyway, later on that night, she's having another one of her dreams where they're digging something out of the tree. And that's, of course, going to spook her. And look at this page leading up to the dreams. These nice, quiet shots from around the farm. There's her in bed, and then you get to this really bright, crazy dream sequence. Anyway, the dream is going to put her upset, but the skin is going to wake her up and tell her to look outside at the tree. And there's a strange congregation of people around the tree, and the skin is going to tell her what they're saying, and that she's 18 years, signs are showing, we have to go and get her, the time has come. And this is going to cue Emmy to leave right before the group of people come in, and they're going to chase her out into the woods. And she's lost and alone in the woods. However, someone comes up, and luckily for her, it's Bernice who is going to warn her, but now she has someone to explore the woods with, and she's not so alone. However, they are going to run into the first of the ghosts that they find in the woods when they find this creepy graveyard. Got to love the creepy graveyard. And it's going to be populated by these flaming skeletons and this really cool splash here. But yeah, Bernice, the skinless boy, gonna team up with Emmy there, gonna go through the haunted woods while they're being chased. Now, before we go, I want to go ahead and show you guys a little bit of the bonus features in the back. There's some pretty cool stuff, you know, so the Harrow County sketchbook with this picture of Emmy there, and it features notes from the creators, Cullen Bunn and Tyler Crook, and you get, you know, what you might suspect, some character portraits for the main characters and the design process that they went through, so some of the cool, you know, early drawings of them. And let me show you one of the monsters. Yeah, so like different versions of the flaming ghost people, and they obviously went with a more skeletal design. One thing I really like is they talk about doing it as legit watercolors, and he goes, because I did it as watercolors, if I messed up, I'd have to start from the beginning. So I test out some color combinations and do a test so that if they don't work, I'll know on the sketch that they don't work together, and I won't mess up the final piece. So there's some pretty cool watercolor sketches back here. But in addition to that, we do get some, this map of Pa's farm, and also some alternate covers. I want to show you guys the Jeff Lemire cover. That's pretty cool right there, Emmy in front of the big tree. But the biggest bonus feature in this book, the one that really worth pointing out, is that Cullen Bunn started to write Harrow County as Countless Haints, and it was a sort of episodic thing he was doing on his website. So it initially came out in text form, and it wasn't the whole thing. I think this only goes up through like issue 2.5 or so. But yeah, this is the original text version of Harrow County that you get in the back, and yeah, it's relatively short. It doesn't go through the whole story, but it is cool to see the original version, and you know, seeing the text version, things like the narration makes a lot of sense why Harrow County would have that. But also, instead of Emmy, she's Maddie here, short for Madrigal, which is kind of weird. But there's other things like the dream sequences aren't as big in here. They don't do the prologue with the witch. Bernice isn't in this, so she's running through the woods on her own. And like the skinless boy is closer to her age than a little kid. So there is a few differences, but it's really interesting to see the original version of the story. And maybe that's why Harrow County came out so good, is they had a complete, you know, early version of the first couple issues to work off of. But anyway, a really fun book, some fun bonus feature, and just really nice atmosphere. I really do love this book. Definitely, if you're a horror comic fan, you have to pick this one up, and I can't wait to pick up issue 2. Anyway, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This should be my horror comics playlist. If you want to see me talk about other horror comics, you can find those down there. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Horror comics playlist on the bottom. Have a good day now.